Hello, friends, and welcome to your moment of damn. Okay. Mm, mm. Let's get into it because a lot happened this weekend, some of which I really don't want to cover, but it is my job, so I am going to. So here we go. Apparently, over the weekend, Donald Trump is found where he's always found, which is at a golf course, because apparently the man has no job, has never really worked, and can golf 7 days a week, 365 days of the year, except, when that pesky thing happened for 4 years where he was president and couldn't be where he actually really wanted to be, on the golf course. Nonetheless, evidently, there was another assassination attempt on his life, and there was a man that was found in the bushes with a rifle and a scope, who has seemingly wanted to recruit people to fight in Ukraine. The details are still coming out, but here's what we do know, and what is actually kind of troubling, which is that something is going on with the Secret Service as it pertains to the protection of Donald Trump and maybe other elected officials, or people who are running for office. But this is the second time in 2 months where there has been some type of breach. Now, we are continuing to learn the details about the gunman who has lived in Greensboro, North Carolina, as well as in Hawaii. His name is Ryan Wesley Routh, 58 years old, according to reports, and he is now in custody, unlike the gunman from a couple of months ago who was on the rooftop and was shot and killed. The funny thing about these situations, and I'm just going to put it out there, not a conspiracy theorist whatsoever, but the funny thing, the interesting thing, the thing that nags at me about these incidents is that they always come at a time when Donald Trump is lagging in the polls. With the first attempt, we never got any information from medical examiners. We never had a press conference from the hospital team that treated Donald Trump. All we know is that then he miraculously showed up with this maxi pad type, construction around his ear, which he was wearing at the RNC. And then his sycophants decided to copy that because that's what normal people do and also put those on. But we never got any more information. And seemingly, we also never got more information about the shooter. That being said, now 2 months later, here we are. Now, I will also offer that Donald Trump, when he was president of the United States, rolled back guidelines that would decrease the ability for people with mental illness to be able to access guns, because it was just a free for all. And it is a gun free for all anytime that there is a Republican that is inside of the White House or in control of Congress, for that matter. So these situations are not isolated incidents that just happen out of nowhere. And frankly, I offer the same amount of, empathy and action that Republicans offer every time that there is a school shooting or a mass shooting, which is what Donald Trump said after a school shooting in Iowa. People just need to get over it. Or, as JD Vance said most recently, shootings are just a, quote, fact of life. So that is about as much time that I'm going to spend on this. Let's move on to yet another moment where Donald Trump is seemingly losing his mind. And I said this in another video, right, which you can see here. And I said that he is deteriorating. It is very clear. We watched side by side when Abby Phillips on CNN posted, here's Donald Trump in 2016, here's Donald Trump in 2024. These two things do not seem like the same person. One seemed very sharp, still crazy and dangerous, but sharper, understood how to stay on point, stay on message. The other one is focused on crowd size and now most recently Taylor Swift. So Donald Trump tweets over the weekend that, quote, I hate Taylor Swift. While folks want to dismiss that and say, oh, look at Donald Trump, he's so small, he's an idiot, he's all of these things, which are indeed true, the fact is that Taylor Swift had to cancel multiple concerts recently over the summer because of kidnapping and death threats that she was receiving. You see, when Donald Trump says things, people actually listen. Look no further than January 6th. It's going to be wild. Go take your country back. And in fact, they did violently, causing harm to over 130 police officers, where one of them would take their lives and another protester, right, Trumper, would lose their life. Okay. So when Donald Trump tweets, I hate Taylor Swift, it isn't just the musings of a very small, fragile man. It is also a directive to his followers that you should do something about this person I don't like. Most recently, Laura Looney Loomer was on one of those right-wing, just violent, toxic, masculine podcasts where she said that people who don't like Donald Trump, not only should they be thrown in jail, but get this, they should be executed. Yeah, she actually said that. This is the person who Donald Trump most recently brought with him to a 9/11 memorial event. This is the person who is seemingly becoming a, quote, policy advisor for Donald Trump, is with him all the time. And we know in another video that I posted that they seem close. Okay. All this is leading up to the fact that Trump and Vance have been ratcheting up violent rhetoric aimed towards the Haitian migrant population in Springfield, Ohio. Since their rhetoric has begun to catch hold, there have been school closures 2 days in a row last week where bomb threats were called in. Municipality buildings were shut down because of bomb threats being called in. But when JD Vance was most recently on CNN with Dana Bash, and she points this out, he says, oh, what you're alluding to is disgusting. I condemn those acts of violence. And she had to remind him, well, you're not actually just a random bystander or a citizen, right? A constituent of Ohio. You are actually a senator that has the ability and the power to, I don't know, do something other than flap your gums, or as he stated very clearly, create stories. That's right. While in that interview, JD Vance very clearly stated that he needs to create stories in order to get the media to pay attention. Create stories is another euphemism for lie. That is what JD Vance and Donald Trump have been doing about the migrant Haitian population that is causing an increase in violence towards that community. And we're just all sitting around for there to be a report that somebody has been killed because we've had bomb threats, acid attacks, and more. When are these people going to be held accountable for their violent rhetoric actually causing real world violence? It is not happening out of nowhere. And by the way, how do we know that? Because this population of Haitian migrants has been in this area for the last 4 years. And guess what? There was no violence before the last week or so. What happened in the last week or so? Donald Trump and JD Vance getting on national television and spreading lies about this population. Interesting. I wonder if corporate mainstream media will continue to, connect the dots. Let me close out with this today, which is a tweet that Elon Musk put out and then has since deleted. But you know that once things are tweeted, they never actually go away. After the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, Elon Musk tweets something to the effect of, well, how come no one is ever trying to kill Biden or Harris? Because that's something that you should just casually put out to your millions upon millions upon millions of followers, as if to say what? That someone trying to kill you is the mark of a true leader? as if to say that saying something like that isn't in itself against the law. But what are laws to somebody that is edging up on becoming the first trillionaire, while there are people that, can't afford food or medicine or housing or anything like that? Capitalism is disgusting, and so is Elon Musk. And I will just say this: people like this need to be held accountable. They are not just random people tweeting and saying things that are falling on non-listening ears. These are people with audiences that go into the millions, that command attention, that people listen to and believe. So if Donald Trump at the RNC can get a group of people to put a maxi pad on their ear so they can show their allegiance to him, what else do you think that he's going to be able to get them to do? Because some people are already, right, facing prison sentences and serving them right now because of what Donald Trump told them to go do. So from his hate of Taylor Swift to his lies about the migrant Haitian population and more, folks, we are 50 some odd days away from this election. And my fear is that the more desperate that Donald Trump becomes, the more violent his rhetoric will become, and the more violent his followers will become in real life. So, as I always say, please be mindful and stay safe. That is it for me today on this moment of damn. As always, power to the people and to all the people power. Get woke and stay woke. And stay safe, friends. Until next time.